Midweek in MLS, 16 teams in action, and plenty to wow the fans. Both Houston and Dallas started outside the top 6 in the Western Conference. Each were looking to get back above the playoff line. And in Georgia, Atlanta United knew that regardless of other results, a win would confirm their place in the postseason. They were without the influential Miguel Almiron due to injury. Atlanta United fans have been bringing the noise at their new stadium, and there's certainly been plenty to shout about already. On Wednesday, they look to continue their impressive run against the Philadelphia Union. Commentary comes from Mike Sewell.
Atlanta in possession. Ordered down by Gressel into the path of Kratz. Long range effort coming in, and that's a good save from Andre Blake. Vicious long range strike from Assad. Walks. Philadelphia don't deal with it in their back line. Here's Villalba. He goes for goal as well, and Andre Blake once again called into action. Another vicious strike. Carmona to find Laurentowicz. Patient build up from Atlanta United. It's played in towards Gressel. Good running by Julian Gressel. Gets beyond the defenders and then pokes it beyond Andre Blake. Nothing he could do about it. Great running by Gressel, fended off the defenders, and then with the outside of his right boot, picked his spot in the far corner. Carmona, straight forward to Gressel, pokes it through. Here's Joseph Martinez. Martinez! And he just cannot stop scoring. His 18th MLS goal of the season. And it's 9 in 6 games for Joseph Martinez. He is just so sharp in front of goal. Assad towards Villalba. Gressel back to Villalba. For the run here of Martinez. Goes around Blake. Can't find a finish himself. Here's Villalba. He can certainly find a finish. Wonderful execution by Hector Villalba. But it's not going to count. Joseph Martinez was narrowly offside on Villalba's pass. And that's why it's been disallowed. Pico down that far side, gets the better of Walks. 2 players in the middle. Want to see Jay Sapong. Here's Medunyan in. Almost a goal back for the Union. Carefully guided. Guzan was nowhere. Gonzalez Perez. Control the chest from Villalba, who sets Jacob Peterson free. He's beyond the Union defence. He goes through the legs of Andre Blake and between the posts, and that has sealed it for Atlanta United. His celebration might be understated, but those in the crowd know they're heading for the playoffs. Jacob Peterson makes it Atlanta United 3, the Philadelphia Union 0. Corner to Philadelphia. If they were to score here, it'd be nothing more than a consolation. It's delivered in. Elliott with a shot. Guzan with a reaction save, and the referee has blown the whistle. It's the final play of the game. Guzan keeps a clean sheet, but more importantly, for the first time since 2009, an expansion club, in this case Atlanta, make the playoffs.
Western and Eastern Conference playoff positions at stake at Avaya Stadium, though the Chicago Fire proved to be more up for the occasion. Their opening goal was one to cherish, both in delivery and execution, as homegrown player Jordi Mihailovic scored his first ever goal for the Fire. A stooping Luis Solignac added a second for the visitors just before halftime, as San Jose was stung by another cleverly crafted goal. The second half followed a similar pattern to the first, though it didn't take something fancy from the Fire to extend their advantage. Goalkeeper Andrew Tarbell's ragged pass allowed Solignac to set up Nemanja Nikolić's historic moment, his 19th goal of the campaign, the new regular season record for a Chicago Fire player. The rare opportunities presented to the Earthquakes were passed up, though Marco Ureña's missed chance was as much to do with the razor-sharp reactions of Richard Sanchez, rather than the striker's lack of a nose for goal. Though it does pay to have a forward in your ranks who carries a natural knack for scoring, Nikolić added his second just past the hour mark, as the Hungarian international's remarkable campaign continues to flourish. The San Jose supporters who did resist an early exit had a positive reason to get off their seats late in the game, as Chris Wondolowski headed in a largely irrelevant goal. San Jose has now dropped out of the top 6, but it's a different story for Chicago, who've now clinched a playoff berth. While those around them had been winning, the New York Red Bulls had lost their way somewhat. They hadn't won any of their previous 6 regular season games, and were now perilously close to dropping below the playoff line. They faced Atlantic Cup rival DC United, who they beat at home back in April during an ill-tempered encounter that featured 28 fouls. DC's postseason hopes had all but evaporated, but they could still take pleasure in getting in the Red Bulls' way. Chris Wise had the call.
Space for Connor Lade. And it might come through to Adams. And Tyler Adams strikes New York Red Bulls in front. What a moment for the 18-year-old. His first ever MLS goal. And it arrives against one of their bitter rivals. He had to wait an age for the ball to arrive, but he took it so well. Ariola. Peronel catches him. It's a certain DC United free kick, and a yellow card for the Frenchman as well. Stieber amongst those over this opportunity in first half stoppage time. It is Stieber. It took a chunky deflection, and the visitors are level. Stieber claims it, but I'm not sure it would have beaten the goalkeeper without bouncing off the knee of Bradley Wright Phillips. He didn't move, but he was the unfortunate perpetrator. They're on. Skips away from 2 of them. It's Wright Phillips, denied by Clark. He simply had to score, but Bradley Wright Phillips almost had the ball glued to his feet. Canus. Oh, now Mullins. And for the first time in the game, DC United are in front. A stadium shocked into silence. Patrick Mullins got himself onside at the critical moment, and his finish was so cute. Terrific ball. Well, Clark's missed it. It's Connor Lade. It's blocked on the line. This is Adams, and in! And New York Red Bulls make it 2-2. What a night it's turning into for Tyler Adams. 2 MLS goals, both against DC United. Can the home side now push on and find a winner? They're on. It's gone down, and the referee says it's a penalty. The official perfectly placed to see Ariola's indiscretion. The substitute Veron. coolly converts, won the penalty, scored the penalty, and New York Red Bulls lead 3-2. Last knockings for DC United in stoppage time. Miranda, oh, it's off Escobar, and DC United at the death have an equaliser. They can hardly believe it. Escobar may smile, but it's a rueful one. 3-3 at Red Bull Arena.
On a soggy night at Stade Saputo, Montreal began their home meeting with New York City FC 3 points and 1 place behind the Red Bulls. And Impact coach Mauro Biello had insisted that this was a game they had to win to stand any chance of making the playoffs. Rodney Wallace's early effort set the tone for a dominant display by the visitors, who had already secured their place in the postseason. NYCFC was rewarded for their attacking intent shortly before the half-hour mark. And in some style, Jack Harrison lashing home his 10th league goal of 2017. Montreal spent much of the night on the defensive. In the second half, Kyrie Shelton was only denied his first MLS goal in 11 months by the outstretched leg of Impact keeper Evan Bush. When Montreal did attack, Mateo Mancosu found Sean Johnson in typically unyielding form at the other end. David Villa started the game amongst NYCFC's substitutes. In the 30 minutes of game time he was afforded, he threatened to add to his 19 MLS goals this season. It's been more than 2 years since Montreal defender Laurent Simon last scored in the MLS regular season. His late effort hinted at the Impact's desperation to find an equalizer. It was a second New York City goal which looked more likely, though, as Villa came close late in the affair. In the end, a narrow victory belied NYCFC's overall dominance. Coming up, we're in Seattle for the return of Fredy Montero.
Montero looking to test him early, gets the shot in, oh, I say! And the shot on goal is there! What a goal! Montero!
I respect all the people in Seattle and I have a good past with them. I'm so thankful to them.
No player has scored more regular season goals for the Seattle Sounders than Fredy Montero.
I'm back in MLS, but it's not with Seattle, so I think it's important to talk about Whitecaps now.
There's Montero! It was written in the stars! Fredy Montero, who else?
He'd faced his old club twice this year, scoring in both games.
And it's that man again against his former team, Fredy Montero!
And this week, he returned to CenturyLink Field with the Vancouver Whitecaps.
When the referee blows the whistle, I know I'm going to try to win the 3 points for my team.
Mike Sewell had the call.
Touch from Dempsey. Fine. Christian Roldan is through here. Chance for Christian Roldan. Oh, it's shaved the post. And the follow-up is blocked. Dempsey's little flick. Roldan had that opportunity. Svensson. A strong challenge, but a fair one. Spaces, here's Rodriguez. Victor Rodriguez gives Seattle the lead. His first goal for the Sounders. Managed to find just enough space to put it beyond David Ousted. Seattle 1, Vancouver 0. This is a long way out for Fredy Montero. He's going to go for goal. Oh, it's tipped onto the bar by Stefan Frei. Almost another goal against his former club for Fredy Montero. That is a terrific save. It's another one. Stefan Frei's scrapbook. Dempsey from a fair way out. Oh, and he's now struck the woodwork. Carl Robinson questioning his defenders. Osted nowhere near him. Goes to Rodriguez. Jovan Jones wants it to his left. Dempsey down the middle. Ladero also in support. It goes to Jones. Plenty of options in the middle. One of them is Nicolas Ladero, who makes it 2-0 to Seattle. They split the Vancouver defence and no one was marking the goal scorer. Rodriguez to Dempsey. Deft touch out wide. Jovan Jones is in the middle. Dempsey also coming up in support. Here is Clint Dempsey! Deuce scores and moves to within one goal of Freddie Montero's Sounders record. Good play by Ladero, teed it up perfectly. And Clint Dempsey just does not miss those. Into midfield with Roldan. It's caught there by Channy. The referee is going to give Tony Channy a yellow card for the challenge. Thanks from Ladero. Protest from the Vancouver player. I'll tell you what, it's a pretty challenge. It's going to video review. Robert Samiga is studying the challenge to see if it warrants more than a yellow card. And I think it does, because he's going for his back pocket and Channy has been dismissed. More misery for Vancouver. In the context of the playoffs, it's a big Cascadia win for Seattle.
FC Dallas was an absolute free-fall in the Western Conference, 10 games without a win. So if there was ever a chance to stop that slide, it would be against the last-place team in the conference, the Colorado Rapids. The visitors showed their frailties early on, as Maynard Figueroa was left unattended at the far post, though most were surprised the ball even reached the fullback in the first place. Colorado was still struggling to find its bearings when the hosts struck again. Hernan Grana providing his second assist inside the opening 10 minutes as Roland Lamah poked one past a helpless Tim Howard. Fanciful footwork from Mauro Diaz almost led to FC Dallas's third, as the hosts looked to have recaptured their form of old. It was going to take something extraordinary to turn the game in the visitors' favor. A speculative effort from Mohamed Said almost provided the necessary tonic, though Jesse Gonzalez displayed his agile abilities. The victory for FC Dallas was a much-needed one. Despite Michael Barrios' late effort that went wide, their winless run is over as their playoff push reignites. That win for FC Dallas had repercussions for the LA Galaxy, who were 240 miles down the road in Houston. It confirmed that for the first time since 2008, they wouldn't be featuring in the playoffs. They did, though, take an unexpected third-minute lead, albeit via a bizarre own goal from DeMarcus Beasley. Houston's own prospects of making the postseason were further threatened when Roman Alessandrini slipped in to score his 11th goal of the campaign. The Galaxy up 2-0 inside of 12 minutes. Thomas Martinez was making only his third league start for the Dynamo since joining the club in July. Midway through the first half, he resisted the attentions of the Galaxy defense to score his first goal for Houston. But having hauled themselves back into the match, the home team assisted the Galaxy in restoring their 2-goal advantage right at the start of the second half. Bradford Jamieson slamming home his second MLS goal of 2017. Despite the deficit, Houston actually posed the greater threat throughout. And with 7 minutes to go, Alberth Elise won them a penalty. Nothing subtle about the foul by Galaxy defender Hugo Aureliano. Elise calmly stepped forward to beat Clement Diop from the penalty spot and make it 3-2. A grandstand finish ensued, and with 2 minutes left, Elise rose to score a dramatic equalizer. The celebrations may have been ecstatic, but in reality, this was 2 points dropped in Houston's bid to reach the playoffs. Orlando City knew a victory over the New England Revolution was imperative to maintaining their slim playoff hopes. The visitors' own top 6 aspirations have been hindered by their failure to win a single game away from home this season. So when Xavier Kouassi was overzealous in challenging Seb Hines, the alarm bells were already sounding. Kouassi dismissed by video review for the second time within the same month. On that occasion, the Revolution were smashed for 7 by Atlanta United. Orlando went about systematically dismantling them in a similar manner, Antonio Nocerino providing the deftest touch for the opener midway through the first half. 10 minutes later, the hosts had their second. Hines was involved in earlier controversy, but now had cause for celebration as he scored his first MLS goal in over a year. Kaká may not be as youthful as he once was, but the Brazilian playmaker rolled back the years with a classy third before the break. His first start in 4 games ensured the 35-year-old looked suitably sprightly. New England's brief moment of belief was at least an eye-catching one. Lee Wynn's perfect free kick providing the visitors' solitary goal of the night. Orlando didn't truly run amok until the final quarter of an hour. Dom Dwyer went for the spectacular, whereas Kaká kept it simple to score his second, and the rampant hosts' fourth. The Revolution are seemingly, and rather worryingly, mastering the art of capitulation. Dwyer ruthlessly adding to the visitors' woes, and his own tally, 3 in as many games for one of Orlando's recent recruits. The Revolution's 4-0 win over Orlando only a few weeks ago was a distant memory by the end. Yoshi Yotun handed space and time to score a 6th, but it's now over 12 months since the Revolution's last road win. Despite that win for Orlando, they and those around them are unlikely to catch the New York Red Bulls for the final spot in the playoffs. If leaders Toronto beat the New York Red Bulls in their next match, they will clinch the Supporters' Shield. Just a single point separates the top 4 in a competitive Western Conference, but the 4 teams below them are realistically battling for the final 2 playoff spots, though Minnesota United still have crucial games in hand. So a spectacular midweek in Major League Soccer, and a defining one for both Atlanta and Chicago. We leave you with the best of the 33 goals scored. I'm Russ Thaler. Until next time.
Jack Harris just mashes it into the top corner. A stunning finish from Victor Rodriguez. Tyler Adams on it, drills it, goal!
This copyrighted telecast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.